Sun's gone. So, why were you wandering here? It's a strange place to be. I could ask you the same question. I don't really feel like talking about it. As you wish. And anyway, I totally asked you first. I drift as a cloud to the various places that call to my spirit. This is one such place to watch the world unwind. It is beautiful. I'm glad you agree. Not everyone can appreciate what lies before them. It's stunning, for sure. Do you come here every day? I go where I am drawn to. These cliffs have always held significance. It seems the hands of fate pointed us both here today. What drew you here? There is something special about this edge of the world. Well, I mean, I don't pick any old rock to throw myself off. I have high standards when it comes to driving off cliffs. I have taste. Does this place feel strange to you? I don't know what it is. It feels significant. Like we're the only two left in the world. For all we know, we are. That doesn't bode well for the fate of the planet. The planet will continue on. Probably better off. What do you think it is? The significance? Everything. Combined. What do you feel as sunbeams streaming through the sky weave through every hum of life on this cliff until they sing? The significance is the harmony, the sum of all life. Okay, so sunbeams. Got it. Is death involved in the sum of life? Death is essential in this scene. But the harmony of life rings only the more pure for its impermanence. Would any of this be quite so beautiful were it everlasting? Everlasting is an exhausting notion. I like this. The whole, like, I don't know if my character's hallucinating or not, or if there actually is a talking deer, but it's kind of like therapy, going through your own thoughts and figuring out that what is the meaning of it all? What is the point? Why am I here? And a lot of these things do have true beauty because they don't last forever. Like, if stuff lasted forever, then it would get boring. Perpetually me. Perpetually here. In perpetuity. Then you can appreciate the poetry of transience. And so shall read my tombstone. Ah, it's a lady! She perished violently in a fireball at the bottom of a cliff, appreciating the poetry of transience. That sounds good. I like that. What do you think, dear? If you like. I guess I just feel like a spectator. Spectator? I'm like a fly stuck in a snow globe. I feel like I'm looking at something. Not like I'm part of some grand, beautiful design. Largely down to your perspective. Like a narrow mind? An obscured line of sight. That's a very good way of putting it. you're not narrow-minded, you just have an obscured line of sight. Because being narrow-minded is, being narrow-minded and open-minded. I always try and be as open-minded as I can be. And growing up, I was definitely very, very narrow-minded based on not only, as they say, my perspective, but my upbringing and the people around me. And I was being influenced by that stuff. And then doing YouTube because I get to meet so many different people, and all you guys out there are telling me so many different stories all the time that I get to see a broader walk of life. So it opened up my mind. So saying someone's narrow-minded kind of closes them off. But saying that they have an obscured line of sight means that there's an option to, like, move that narrow-mindedness. That you can move to a clearer line of sight. I like that. Blurred. By the arrogance of youth? By the glass of the windows. Oh. You went for more literal. You cannot hope to experience the universal totality and grace of nature when your view is warped from the outset. Even if I could get out and bask in the sunbeams or whatever, how am I supposed to feel all connected? You have to extend your mind beyond the car. What for? The car is insignificant in relation to the whole. It's significant to me. When compared with the grand impression of the world on the mind. On the soul. The car is a minor detail. This car is my entire world right now. In this moment, that is how it feels. Your life hangs in the balance. The threads of your fate lay exposed. The car holds you captive. What matters is what is outside. That's a good analogy as well. Whenever people are going through really tough times, it can feel like that moment that you're going through is your entire world at that moment. It can feel like you're trapped inside your own mind. That your mind is the car, and your brain is you. Like deep down in there, in your brain is you. And you're just trapped inside this prison of your own doing, I guess. And that you can feel like there's nothing else outside of that, and that's what your world is in that moment. But there's always stuff that matters outside of that. That is not everything. Outside. Let's see, we have ocean. Right there. We have sky. We have talking deer. Whenever I have found myself in a worrisome situation, far from hope and far from resolve, I have always found the comfort to be in nature. What if your worrisome situation is nature? Sometimes you have to stand over the brink of fear in order to know the truth. To stare into oblivion. The moment of perfect exhilaration will offer clarity. A tranquil restoration. Sometimes you need to be at the edge of a cliff, teetering in a car, on the very brink of death, to truly appreciate what it feels like to be alive. In other words, this is your idea of tranquil restoration? Yes. It is a manner of thinking. It's a manner of death proximity, actually. But right this moment, you are given the chance to look. You were brought here to this grand spectacle for a reason. Here, you can witness everything. Let the wind wash over you as a wave. Let the sunlight pour into you and fill your spirit. It's not that easy. Think about it. About what? Your situation. Okay. You marked out your options yourself. My options. My options. Wait, still? Wait, still. In the meantime, you have an opportunity. I do? I invite you to focus your attention on the horizon. Just the horizon? The horizon. Alright, I can focus on that. Sorry about the freezing of the screen every now and then. My new computer does that, and I don't know why. I'm trying to figure it out and talk to the guys who put it together, so apologies. Okay, let's focus on the horizon. Let the wind and waves just wash over you. Be at peace. What do you see? A line. Look deeper. Truly look. Until the world slips away to nothing but you and the horizon. Oh, man. Oh, gee. Am I going to Hogwarts? That's cool. While days unfold, I find my sight fall to the sea. Time turns circles while the tide draws breath. I hover before myself, suspended over waves, like a bird. Along drifting currents, I sweep the surface to a fold. Where I become light, a flake of glass. The tide exhales in transparency. I return. It does make me feel kind of tiny. Oh, we're going back. Man, this game really does make you just feel like all loose and all nice. Thank you, Mr. Deer. This I have found to be true. If you do not feel miniature, you are not looking far enough. That's deep, Mr. Deer. So, I see what you mean. Like, look into the horizon? Or just around? And you can feel a connection. Something meaningful or deeper or whatever. Like you belong. I think that's what I'm looking for. I don't know if I'm capable of that. You will not know until you let go. I'll try. Have you changed your mind? Will you share why you came here? Well, okay, I'll divulge. So, background check. Yes, I was studying. The study of what? Ooh! I could be a whale biologist if I wanted to be, but I'm to study film. I wanted to direct. And there your heart lies? I thought so. Well, I've just always loved the idea of it. Being an eyeball. A prism. It's so dreamy, capturing that little fragment of time. But like, just how I see it. However obscured or bizarre that is. It's a totally skewed way of showing your perspective of the world. The ambition to capture the moment. Yeah, So, when I was a youngster, we would make these home videos. Me, my brother, and my dad. We had this weird towel room upstairs in our house. Don't ask why we just had a room for towels, okay? Anyway, right at the back, there was this heating box thing with two beady little red lights on it. They were, without question, demon eyes. It used to freak me and my brother out until my dad gave us the giant video camera. So at night, we would creep up the stairs, videoing our escapade. My dad would pretend we were these muscle-bound demon hunters and he was our #1 fan. They were the Winchesters. We made these totally amazing films, so over the top and dumb, of us just ascending the stairs. Up to the demon lair. When we get to the top, my dad would run in before us, screaming, and the towel demon would claim his life. Me and my brother would be all dramatic and charge in to avenge his death with an onslaught of hand towels. We'd all sit around and try to cut together this grandiose movie of our brave attack. It was the greatest. Basically, since then, those memories have stayed with me and I've loved making videos. And so your heart is bound to capturing the moments of life. I don't know, I thought so? Not anymore. Well, I was studying filmmaking. Prior to now. Yes, prior to now. Until... I left university or I checked the heck out. Hello, meaningless loans. Abandoned my prospects of a good old life. What led you to leave? I don't know, I just didn't feel like I could do it. Oh, I've been there, sister. First time I was in college for music production, I was going through it and I thought everything was great and everything was going well and I was learning a lot, but then it started to add in all these different things. I've talked about this before. How it added in things of like physics and how sunlight works and prisms and circuits and physics and everything, because you were supposed to be able to fix circuits and fix amps and things like that if they ever broke down in your studio. And all of that's great knowledge to have, but at the time, I just did not care. I did not want to do it. And I started to kind of check out mentally out of my course. Because I just wanted to be part of the music side of things. So whenever anything got too technical, my brain kind of checked out. Maybe it was ADD, or maybe it was just a lack of care for it. And I just wanted to do other things. And then I started to get really bad at it because everybody else was excelling at this stuff and everybody else was super into it and really taking it on board and learning and getting very stuck in with it, whereas I was just procrastinating all the time. And then I felt like I couldn't do it anymore, so I did pass my second year exams. I could have gone back and done the third year. I still think I can, actually. I didn't fail anything, I just left. Like, I'd waited for such a long time. And when it came, it was so overwhelming. It wasn't what I'd imagined. I didn't feel like I could do it anymore. Oh god, is this me? Oh god. The exact thoughts I had. And still thoughts that I have a lot of the time. Stop. A lot of times whenever I'm doing something, I either feel like I talked about this in the 17 million subscriber video where I talked about starting a project is the scariest part for me. It wasn't the fear of failing the project that was the scary part to me. It was the fear of doing it, because if it got too overwhelming, I'd either feel like I wasn't smart enough to see it through, or I wasn't creative enough to actually get the idea done. Even though I am smart in my own ways about different things, I'm not overtly smart about different things, and sometimes my attention span just completely breaks, and I can't just like focus on something. I can't just sit down and listen and take in the knowledge sometimes, and then sometimes I feel like I'm not creative enough, or the ideas that I have aren't actually going to come to fruition. And this year, especially, I've been dealing a lot with those types of things, and they've just been in my head for too long. And that's why I said next year I want to try and like push past that, because I know I'm creative. I know that I'm smart. I know that I can do these things, but I just let the doubt get to me. And I don't ever want it to be a thing either where I fake how great I am. I don't want it to be a thing where I boast this version of myself that I think makes me seem creative or smart. I'd rather let the proof be in the pudding, more or less. I'd rather just do the things and have them speak for themselves. So that's what I want to try and do. And I want to try and push past those barriers in my head and start like leading different parts of my life a bit more. But especially when I was in college that time, I felt both of these things a lot. I saw other people do the projects immediately. They'd get stuck in. They'd be doing the projects so super well. And I'd either think, am I not smart enough to be in this course? Or am I not creative enough to be in this course? And it's the same whenever I do different types of YouTube videos. Like, I'll play a video game, and I'll play it my way. The way that's the most fun for me. And sometimes I forego different things just because I don't want to do things a certain way. And then it leads a lot of people online to be saying, man, Jack's dumb. And for a lot of times, and especially if another YouTuber plays the same game and they fly through it. Like, everybody has their own way of doing things. But it's when others try and beat you down for doing things the way you wanted to do them, that can be the most troubling, or that can be the most disheartening. So I've always tried to just push through that and do things my way. Do life my way. Do whatever I want my way. Because that's the way it's the most fun for me. And that's the way I get through anything. Whether it's something that I love doing, I'd rather just throw myself recklessly into it and figure it out as I'm going along. I'm not this type of person that plans everything out meticulously. Just don't have an obscured line of sight when it comes to these types of things. Whether you're in that situation or you're looking in from the outside at somebody else doing things the way they do them. Just have an open heart towards them. That everybody does things a different way. And that you don't have to do them the exact same way as everybody else. And I'm going to stop rambling now and get back to it. But